Hello. Thank you for staying this long. I do that intro so that I'm like, okay, anyone who I don't think would give me the time of day can leave. And then the rest that are like, no, I want to stick around for longer. I want to talk to you. So thank you for sticking around. This is just a video of me being accountable for my project that I'm creating. So I'm basically trying to do updates to YouTube. I really don't like being perceived, so this is hard. But anyway, what is my project? I am writing a story, which is a fantasy story called Mudroot. It's about a wizard who has a hard time reading, and when he trained to be a wizard, if you know anything about being a wizard, you have to read a lot of books, old books, scrolls, that kind of stuff. And so he had a hard time learning magic, and he flunked, and so he left and lives in a marsh with really, really scary creatures. And then one day a knight or a soldier falls in a swamp with their horse sinking in it. Similar idea to Never-Ending Story. If you know, you know. And he helps her out, and she is in search for a wizard to help her into this catacomb that an ancient civilization used to dwell in, and it has a lot of ancient magic. And he reluctantly agrees, even though he's not good at magic. She's looking for a wizard, and it's very hard to find one. So they go into the catacombs to look for this artifact that will save this knight or soldier's kingdom. And yeah, it's a very simple premise. And it only has 2 characters in it and 3 locations that they interact with. And yeah, I find it really fun. The main thing about this story is the 2 characters. Like, there is a third, and there's a few side characters, but it's only the 2 that you get to interact. And so these 2 characters, I don't know, I think is quite lovable. But this is a personal goal of mine because I struggle with reading and writing for a very long time, and I had all these stories in my head because I basically was a very lonely kid, and I had a very imaginative inner world, and always wanted to do something with it, but I never understood what or how to go about it, right? So I would make drawings and images of my story. I even have my old book. I'll show you. This is my old book when I was a kid. Got some this isn't part of a map, but yeah, there's Ferguson. So I would draw my stories, and I did write some stuff, but very basic things. And yeah, I would just draw stuff. Yeah, this book, it's called Lost Caledonia. My mom is Scottish. She's Canadian, but her ancestors are Scottish. and she was starting to learn about her Scottish heritage back then, and I was really interested too, so I started learning with her. And there were some of the folklore that I learned. I tried to get inspired by and create a story in a world back then. So yeah, I thought maybe I would try working in theater because of my hard time reading and writing, and being very neglected. I had to do a lot of my own parenting in my education, and a lot of times I just didn't know what to do and had no one to help me in a lot of ways. So I struggled with that stuff. But when I was a kid, I would watch a lot of movies and TV and documentaries and news, anything, because I really was a very curious kid, that I would watch a lot of educational programs, and that kind of helped me learn about words and how to say them and how to read words, and and then when internet came about, that helped as well, because everything back then was typing and writing. So I would write things and slowly figure out stuff, but again, very unsure of my writing capabilities, and now that I'm 40 and my life is not stable, but it's stable-ish, I have the time to actually try and do things, like writing this, which is pretty cool. This video is basically for me, but if you are wanting to know about this story and is curious about this story, it's definitely a story that is sort of a homage to fantasy stories that I love. It's those stories are always very simple sometimes, but impactful. And it's these two characters are the main focus of everything. They're doing a lot of interesting stuff in the story. There's a lot of interesting magic system that he gets to learn, and there's humor. And how I'm writing it is very different, because when I do read novels, which I've been reading a lot of novels for the past 2 years, seeing how people write, to hear what my voice may be when writing, I noticed that for most part, what I was reading wasn't what I was looking for. I didn't know what I was looking for, and so I got frustrated and went, I'm just gonna write my own story, because there's no stories out there that I want to read in fantasy that I haven't already read. I'm one of those people that that's why I like movies. It's one and done. If you have something new to show me, great, but I'm good with that movie for a while, and I'll go on to the next. I'm very strange that way. Because I'm always like, I guess novelty is a big thing for me. So I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna write my own story then. And I wanted a story that was hopeful, and I wanted a story that was one book. I know that nowadays people do trilogies because it's great, good for marketing. You stretch out your story longer, you get more money, that kind of thing. But a lot of times I miss just one book that gives me everything I need to know, and it's like its own little story that that if someone asks what the story's about, you can say it in a very short time, because there's those stories, like those nursery stories, or those stories that Beauty and the Beast or Pinocchio, that you don't really need to read the book to know what it's about, right? So that's kind of the idea. And I also find it's hard to read because of my disability. I do have dyslexia, and I'm also autistic. And when I read and there's someone talking, like sometimes I read over it, not quite sure what I'm reading, and then noticing that someone else is talking, and then go, wait, who's talking? Are they talking? And then I have to go back to figure it out. And especially if it's world building, I sometimes can't see what someone is telling me in text, because if I haven't seen it before, I'm not able to fill in the blanks. Whereas, like, that's why I was geared towards movies and stuff, because you can visually see how scary a situation is in the story. So I made this so it's easier to read, and hopefully maybe it's easier to read for other people who might be dyslexic, so it's like a hybrid. It's written like a novel, but then when someone's talking, it's like a play or a script. And I think it'll be good, because you will see how these people's personalities are by how they're speaking and interacting, because I sometimes find I don't understand the characters that I'm reading in novels. So it's going well, and I'm using ChatGPT to help me, and that has been a big game changer, because I have to be honest, I never thought I could create a story. I was always one of those people that people use to help create stories, like a muse. I would help creators create their stuff when they wanted feedback, but I thought, I'll never be able to write a story, but if I had, if my title Duke was real, I would be able to afford an assistant who can help me, because when you start learning about other famous people who are dyslexic, and you find out that a lot of them have their own assistant, then you're like, well, I'm gonna get an assistant. And so I did with ChatGPT. It's been great. I have to talk out my ideas. Writing it, I used to do it that way, and I just was not sure what was going on. And so I started using ChatGPT, and I would brainstorm what I wanted, and then it would take notes and create a document for me, so that when I did start writing it, if I forgot what I wanted it to like a character to do, I would look at my notes and go, oh yes, I want to do that. Or if I'm burnt out and not able to do anything that day or write, I would just talk out the story with him, and tell him to describe the story, but don't put any of the lines in, because ChatGPT is not very good with lines. I'll do that. But he will do it, and then I'll save the document, and then when I have the energy to actually write it out, it's almost like, oh, okay, I will copy that section in, paste it in, but I'll put in sort of like a little more of my way I would describe it. And it's helping me. Like, I've only created this in June, and it's almost end of September, and it's crazy, you know? So, yeah, if you want to follow me in this journey, if you think you might like this story, I know I didn't really describe it very well, because a lot of it, like, I want some mystery around it, because there's a lot of stuff that happens that you find out as you go, that I want, there to be a bit of mystery. So yeah, if you are interested in watching me create this, please do. You can, I guess, subscribe to this channel. I'm trying to see where I should go to, do these videos. I do some on TikTok. I prefer TikTok more. So if you like using TikTok more, same name, Duke Marjorie, and you can follow me there. And yeah, I'll try and give you updates. Like I said, I don't like being perceived, and a lot of times when I have made videos or anything in the past, it's not fun. I gotta be honest. The way I look, I'm easy target for a lot of hate. So, yeah. But no one will know that I'm doing this if I don't say anything, right? And I have a hard time showing people my inner world, because my inner world is very precious to me. And now I'm writing about it in my fantasy story. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a good story, I hope. And this is my first, I guess, writing. And yeah, I hope it goes well. So yeah, if you want to follow me, I'll be here. And I guess subscribe if you can, or follow me on TikTok. All right, hope you're having a good day. Take care.